In our first story, the Health Minister, JoyNews, has stated the ministry will soon set up a health intelligence unit to monitor activities at various hospitals across Ghana. And this follows the death of a 70-year-old man who was turned away by apparently 7 hospitals in the capital, right here in Accra. Well, Mr. JoyNews also added they have launched investigations into alleged sale of birds at hospitals, warning that those found to be culpable would be dealt with severely.
It is my wish that the no bird syndrome that is currently becoming something that will not go away every morning will soon cease. We are hearing in the ministry, Mr. Chair, that birds are still in Kolebu. And when I got that information, I was thinking that we were short of birds and people were selling birds to people in Kolebu. Not knowing that it is the way we are describing the situation where when you put down money, you get a bird. We are investigating that. And anybody caught in this respect will be dealt with according to the laws and the sanctions regimes that we have in our service delivery window. We are not joking on this matter. I'm glad the DG and the chair of the Ghana Health Service is taking that matter up. And I'm engaging with the teaching facilities to see how best this will stop as immediate as possible.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, has called for laws to decriminalize turning away of patients by health facilities under emergency situations. He further directed the Constitutional, Legal and Health Committees to investigate and also present a report within 2 weeks.
The medics have their ethics. Fine, you will not expect a doctor or a nurse to refuse a patient and that. Nevertheless, as the lawyers and those who are from the legal angle who want to seriously analyze this, what law is that person breaking by telling our people no bed? Specifically, if you won't start going around and finding some provision to charge a person. If that is so, then the law is not as adequate as we sometimes think. In other countries, I know they've specifically provided for such matters. And we should look at our own provisions as to issues like no public hospital, no medical person employed in a public-owned facility shall refuse to attend to a person who is brought in an emergency situation to a public hospital, and that will be an offense, that will be a crime. And in fact, it's very easy to associate that with manslaughter, the essence of which is negligence.
Oh, I have to correct that intro though. The Speaker is seeking to criminalize that action. Well, away from health, let's do some governance stories. And policy think tank CDD Ghana is calling for the amendment of Clause 13 in the Rights to Information Bill, which has reached the consideration stage in Parliament. Clause 13 exempts disclosure of internal working information of public institutions, which includes deliberations, reports and recommendations. The director of the group, Kwadwo Asante, says this provision, if kept, undermines the entirety of the bill. He was speaking at a press conference right here in Accra.
We want Clause 13 deleted because we think it's one of those clauses in the exemptions that completely undermines the whole Right to Information Bill. The way it's framed basically seeks to provide a blanket exemption for all kinds of deliberations and important decisions that are made in the public service and public institutions. And we think that that is not what any exemption should seek to do. Exemptions have to be very narrow, very specific, and they have to relate to two of the public interest overrides that are there, which is a public interest relating to national security, public health, and then privacy issues. Those are the two conditions that should always guide any limitation to the right to information. This does not. And I think that we have to completely remove it because it's not necessary. We have raised the issue with Clause 5 in terms of the use of the words Office of the President. So information that is prepared or submitted to the Office of the President is exempt information. We don't have a problem generally with the idea of exempting information within the presidency. But we know that the Office of the President in our context has so many other offices. So if you don't define what Office of the President is in this context, then it means that institutions like Ghana Youth Commission and so on, who are all under the Office of the President, are basically, they are information exempt information under the law. The exemption relating to tax information, basically trying to create exemptions for tax administration information, which we feel is absolutely unnecessary. This is the same state that is trying to encourage people to pay their taxes, deal with tax evasion, address illicit financial flows. We accept that individual tax information is a privacy matter, and therefore that should be exempt. But that's already taken care of in Clause 16. So there's no need to basically throw another blanket exemption on what the GRA does, which itself is an obligation that has to be transparent, so that we know that there's fairness in the way taxes are applied. So that's another clause that we think that has to be deleted. We are looking that at the end of this meeting, this bill should be passed. So, and it's already as past the second stage, it's going into the consideration stage. So we're going to be following this process, and that's why we started the new countdown, that in 36 days, when the meeting of Parliament ends, this second meeting, we should have this law passed. But it has to be a credible law.
And before we go, the WA campus of the University of Development Studies has deployed more than 6,000 students to 547 communities in the two regions, the North and Upper West regions, for the third trimester field practical program. The program, which is a flagship program of the university, is designed as an integrated program that brings students from different faculties or schools together to live and work in selected deprived communities. The Vice-Chancellor of the UDS, Professor Gabriel Ayumte, in a speech read on his behalf by the acting principal of the WA campus, Professor Gala Zakaria, said the program also aims at promoting local development as well as improving the standard of living of rural populace in a sustainable manner. Rafiq Salam has more from WA.
The University for Development Studies, UDS, was established with a mandate of blending the academic world with that of the community in order to provide constructive and meaningful interaction between the two for the development of northern Ghana in particular and Ghana as a whole. In order to fulfill this mandate, the university has adopted practical-oriented teaching and learning approach that places emphasis on research and field-based training. Authorities introduced the third trimester field practical program, TTFPP, as an integral program to bring students from different faculties or schools together to live and work in selected communities. Vice-Chancellor of the UDS, in a speech read on his behalf by the acting principal of the WA campus of the university, Professor Gala Zakaria, noted that the program enables the students and members of the communities to work together to identify development problems, potentials and opportunities, and formulate specific interventions to address them.
The tasks undertaken by the students in the communities are aimed at promoting local development and improvement in the standard of living of rural populace in a sustainable manner. UDS students have advantage over students from the other tertiary institutions on the job market. So I think when you participate in this program, you have an edge over your colleagues, students from other tertiary universities in Ghana, particularly when it comes to community work, because you are equipped with the requisite knowledge, attitude, and skills to live and work in rural deprived areas.
And that's it for the latest news update. It's the birthday of a sweet sister of mine, sweetheart of mine, if Antoinette. You live in Rome for the United Kingdom. Have a blessed day. I talked to you this dawn. We had some great time talking many other things, and I'll call you later part of the day as well. Yeah, not easy.
I wish I had a voice to sing a song
for her.
For her, yeah.
If Antoinette. And this one is not coming from Lucy, the rest of the family, Mensa Oklu, Paulina, and all.
I thought you were going to say Paul Pogba.
No, Paul Pogba. You know, the World Cup is coming tomorrow and all that. So I know he comes to mind. And the rest of the family in Togo, as well as Aplau and the rest. Yeah.
All right. So that's it for the news. We've got the newspapers. And we will be running today. We've got AM Business today as well. We'll hang out with some of the sponsors of this year's National Science Maths Quiz. And we've got your messages as well. So stay with us. The papers in a little bit.
Do stay.